In my previous video, I've talked about why Guild Wars 2 is great. But today, I want to talk to you about why it stands out from the crowd. We have a number of MMORPGs all vying for our attention. And the question is simple. What makes Guild Wars 2 better than any other MMO out on the market? What makes it better than Final Fantasy? What makes it better than World of Warcraft? What makes it better than New World? Actually, Guild Wars 2 is better because you can actually play Guild Wars 2. Suck it, New World! If you're still on the fence of what MMORPG to play this year, allow me to persuade you. By the end of this video, I'm going to persuade you into playing Guild Wars 2 today. So sit back and relax. This is what makes Guild Wars 2 stand head and shoulders above its competition. So here's the scenario. You're cruising around the Norn starting area at Wayfarer Foothill, filling some hearts, gathering some materials, crafting a couple of things, you know, the normal stuff. Dying because you misjudged how far a fall was. Then a message pops up. The evil Svanir are scheming again to do bad things? I don't know. Not sure why they would need your help, seeing as you just arrived to this area and you're not wearing any pants.
Died on where are my pants?
Where are my pants?
But guess what? You're a 10-foot tall Norwegian man. Sure, what the hell? What do you need? You go to where the action is, and there is literally 150 other players. Some stuff starts happening around you, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? Lots of action, combat, deaths, crying, and then the Svanir chieftain is dead and everyone goes back to their normally scheduled events that evening. In my opinion, one of the best things that Guild Wars 2 does is their map meta events. On almost every map, there's some sort of small event going on. They're happening literally everywhere. Whether it be a boss fight, an escort mission, protect this area, gather this material, super dynamic events that happen literally all the time. Then there are the big map meta events that require a large amount of people and a heavy bit of coordination. These big meta events have a quest chain of sorts leading up to the event. Those small events culminate into one large event. And then these large events usually happen at a regularly scheduled time. Damn, it's 11 o'clock. I gotta go kill Tequaddle. I love that boss fight. I feel like this not only adds a bit of random surprise for new players, but it keeps old zones still interesting enough for older players. People who've already experienced it still get a bit of fun going back and killing a boss or two. Not only do they offer a bit of gold and a bit of crafting material, but it's an epic fight. You feel like you're a large group of people coming together to fight a common foe. These dynamic open world events are one of the reasons that I fell in love with Guild Wars 2. One of the reasons I enjoyed the game so much. And for new players, it is just an amazing experience to just, okay, I'm going to follow this large group of people because I guess they know what they're doing. Oh, hey, look at that. There's a boss. Oh shit, it's flying. One thing I've noticed, and I've hinted in other videos about MMORPGs, is the lack of respect for the player's personal life. And let me explain. Personally, I don't have a lot of time to play, but when I do have time, I just want to jump in and have some fun, do a map meta event, or work on my legendary, or level up a new character. And I don't want to feel obligated to sit there and log in every single day. I don't want to feel obligated to do specific activities just to move my character's power level. I don't like the required bit. Now, it's not to say that when I could play whenever I wanted to, that this was a big problem. This wasn't even something I even thought about. I just did it because it was there. But times change. It has been one of the most refreshing changes of pace from an MMO I have experienced in a very long time. Being able to hop in and just do whatever you want. It doesn't matter. You want to go do some dailies and get on that cycle? That's fine. You just want to log in and play a character and level him up a couple of times. Sure, go ahead and do that. And it's even more so respectful for your time. When you log in and play, the gear that you get today is going to be just as good here in 6 months, or when this new expansion releases. Maybe, we'll see. You're not tethered to a specific gear treadmill where you got to work really hard to get a brand new piece of gear that's only slightly better than what you already had. I mean, where's the fun in that? It's honestly one of the reasons that I love this game. Some nights I get 3+ hours to play. Other nights I don't get to play at all, and that's alright. But I shouldn't be punished for having a life outside of a game. Guild Wars 2 respects the player's sanity, first and foremost, but I also feel like they respect their time. They understand that it's just a game, and there are things outside of video games that are more important. Spoiler alert, quick sidebar. To earn your like and subscription, I will tell you one solid dad joke. Have you ever tried to catch fog? I did once, but I missed. Oof. Anyway, so what's the point? We beat the guy, we repelled the thing, we gathered the what's it. Where do we go from here? I speak solely on my experience with World of Warcraft, that usually once you hit max level, there's two routes that you go. Either raiding or player versus player. There was very little in between. Some may claim dungeons or arenas, but I consider those subsections. Guild Wars 2 doesn't really make you choose. Heck, they encourage you to play all the other different modes that are available. One of the most unique things about Guild Wars 2 is their world versus world, player versus player mode. This mode puts you into a mix of player versus environment and player versus player, all within the same game mode. This can be really hectic at times, but then also can be really rewarding if you can catch a player roaming and 1v1 them. Then we have fractals. Fractals are mini dungeons of sorts that have their own little story tied to them, and then a couple of bosses that you can fight as you go through it. The difficulties go way up to 100.
It's over 9,000!
But what's interesting about this game mode is that they start stacking agony. Once you hit level 20, the inhabitants of the fractal that you are fighting will actually start inflicting agony upon you. Agony is an ever-increasing damage over time effect that deals a percentage of your total health. The higher the fractal, the more the agony hurts. It's kind of like college. The higher you go, the more pain you're in. It should also be mentioned that Guild Wars 2 has the traditional endgame modes, such as raiding, structured PvP, dungeons, and of course, the collection groups. Fashion wars is a big thing.
You can't buy crowd if you ain't cute.
What I'm saying is that once you hit level 80, you've just hit the tip of the spear. There's so much to do once you are max level in this game, including one of the best features of Guild Wars 2. Any MMO worth its salt is going to have legendary weapons in it. Come on, you gotta have legendary weapons. Those weapons that are one of a kind and are incredibly hard to get. Instead of being a rare drop or just something that you can just outright buy. Oh wait, damn, you can actually buy this. The cheapest way to get your legendary is to do the grunt work yourself. Easier said than done. It takes quite a bit of time and it requires a crap load of materials. Sometimes it is easier to just buy it, but it's not worth as much. But don't worry if that doesn't interest you. Ascended gear, which is equivalent to legendary gear as far as statistics are concerned, is easily obtained. Actually, just kidding, they take some grinding too, but they're easier than legendaries. So if you want your character to have the gear, but you're not really interested in spending all that time farming and searching for all the required stuff, Ascended gear is the way to go. It's literally the same gear, except of course the legendaries have cool cosmetics and shiny stuff, and really what you play this game to do, the shiny stuff. One of the coolest things about legendaries in this game is that it's a journey. It is a story leading up to the creation of this weapon. Take, for example, I'm working on Flameseeker's Prophecies, a mighty shield with a book on it. And every time you unveil it, it shines super shiny, and it's really cool. This is a legendary shield that carries the proclamation of the dragon Glint. And Glint is predicting the future. This is just the surface, though. There is a legendary weapon literally for every type of weapon in the game. Like the Predator Long Rifle, or the 3 great swords, Sunrise, Twilight, and Eternity. And these are all just Generation 1. There is a second generation tied around the Heart of Thorns expansion, and hopefully more in the future. My last major point, of course, is being able to play the way that you want to play. Now, to be fair, there is a meta of sorts in Guild Wars 2. Some elite specializations and professions can be optimized for peak performance. But in my opinion, that's not the point of Guild Wars 2. The reason the game is great is because you can play any way that you want to play. I play a firebrand with a shield, where a firebrand with a torch offhand is optimal. But I'm not excluded when I try to join in a group, or I'm not told that I can't come just because I don't have the right offhand. I'm not excluded from playing just because I like to smack people with a door.
The door.
Now again, I have to say that there are certain professions and specializations that can do a job better than other certain professions and specializations. But there are so many possibilities of different builds out there for all types of content. Open world, solo PvE, player versus player, dungeons, fractals, you name it. Personally, I like solo PvE, but I still am able to hop into map meta events. I'm able to do terribly at player versus player. I'm still allowed to play the way I want to. And to me, that's the best thing about this, is that you are not locked into any type of meta or the latest update to a profession that makes it godlike while your profession stinks. I just want to play my Fireboy and smack people with an axe and a shield. Don't tell me how to play. Being able to roleplay the way I want to and play the character and the specialization and having that customization to play the way I want to play is why Guild Wars 2 is going to be your game to play right now. Right now, like right now, play it. What do you think? Do you think my points are true? Tell me in the comment section down below. As always, I am the Caffeinated Dad, and I will see you guys around.